And we're back! Hey guys, guess what? First week of the playoffs. Here we go. We're starting it up.
Playoffs?
Yeah, it's playoff time. So I'm going to give a quick rundown of the people that are not in the playoffs because I don't care what their matchups were. I don't care what their matchups are going to be because it doesn't matter. Because next year we start with a random draft order. So here are the people that didn't make the cut. I'm going in order here. Please don't tear your ACL, Mike. Mike, you are 6-8, and the fact that you had that good of a record is a shock because you could barely score 100 points every week. Your team sucks. I'm glad you didn't make the playoffs. Move on. Speaking of moving on, we're going to the New England Mad Cows. Jason, you ended up 6-8 as well, number 5. Jason had a tough loss because he was under the assumption that JR wouldn't pay for his entry fee for the league. And JR was given a deadline months ago, which we all agreed on, even though Crawford cried about it for the past few months. You know, when Crawford was losing, he couldn't care about the league. When he was winning, he was all about the league. And then when all of a sudden he was guaranteed a playoff spot, if JR didn't pay, then JR paid about 2 hours before a deadline that was set months ago. So, Crawford's out of the playoffs. He's a little bitter. He won't admit it, but he's facing reality because we all made the assumption that he wouldn't pay, that JR wouldn't pay, but he did.
You know what happens when you assume?
Yes, you
You
do.
make an ass out of you and you.
Oh,
Because I'm not an ass.
yes. So we all were under the assumption that JR would not pay, but he did, and it was fair. He's a former colleague of ours. He's a friend of ours. We honored that throughout the regular season, and we agreed on it. We honored it. So we're going to move on and not mention it ever again. QB sneak into the playoffs. Not so much, Daryl. 5-9. You were the long shot to get that cheat spot. You didn't get it. Your season sucked. You suck. Just move on. Hey, by the way, if you want to trade for Matt Forte, just give me a call. Then we'll move on to our last place real quick. Anthony Sentinel, Long Meadow Lions, the Calvin Johnson freak, the guy who cannot let him go, finished off 3-11. Dude, the fact that you even got your 3 wins is just a blessing. I mean, Jesus Christ may have just given you that as a gift for Christmas because you're not getting much else. The fact that you had 3 wins it was your gift.
You know what else is a blessing?
What's that?
This guy right here.
That guy. You know, Tony, you first season, champion. Second season, made the playoffs. Third season, last place. Your luck's run out. You've officially just gone backwards. I nothing to say anymore. I'm moving on.
Yo, fuck these guys.
I'm moving on. Okay, playoffs. Playoffs.
Real
Number 3, Ethan versus number 2, Jason. Same record, different points. Guys, we have... This is going to be a good matchup, I think. I really do. I mean, Ethan's really running his team by Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning, and I'm running mine by my receiving core. And I wasn't even going for a receiving core this year, but I got one. So, not that they mean anything, but projection-wise, I'm projected to beat him by almost 60 points. That's pretty big. It gives me enough confidence to be happy about this week. So I think I'm going to beat Ethan. I don't want to be cocky, in the playoffs, but looking at the players going, I think I got Ethan. I should win this first game. Then we got Tony, Big Tony. And you know what, Tony? I called you today. I called you a few times. And I couldn't get a hold of you, so guess what? It's December 10th. It's 7:03 p.m. Happy birthday, buddy.
Aww.
Happy birthday, Tony. He's 54.
Do we have some presents for him?
We might have some presents for him. But, the big thing is that he made the playoffs. I'm glad he made the playoffs. I've been trying to call him like crazy all day, but he hasn't answered his phone. We don't really have a birthday theme. But, maybe I can just put a little frame with a bow on it.
It's a bow tie.
Happy birthday, Tony. Love you. Hope you had a good day. So, anyways, number 4. Let's get this back to serious business here. Happy birthday, but let's move on. Number 4, Tony's playing number 1, JR. JR has, like I said, he's paid his money. He's in. Problem is someone needs to knock him out. Tony, it is up to you. And number 1, you beat him. You beat him, you take him out good. You beat a player who's never played, but he gets 214 points every week. Didn't you play him last week, actually? I think you played him last week. But you're playing JR. Who's going to win? I don't know. You can't predict anything with JR. So it's up in the air, completely up in the air.
You know what else is up in the air? Clouds. You know what clouds have? Sometimes they have snow. I just want to let you know that.
Sometimes
I mean, it is winter. It's football time.
Well, yeah, but I mean, just because it's December in New England.
I just felt like it was an appropriate thing to say.
But so, hey, happy December, everybody! It's snowing. It's winter time. We're in the playoffs. Bears catching snowflakes. So that's what we're looking at right now for our playoff matchups. It's going to be tight. I got to tell you right now. The four of us in the playoffs, anyone can win, and anyone can win very easily because there's four good teams that should have been there from the beginning. Tony slacked off in the beginning. He was kind of lackluster, but he's there now. So, but we got to talk about something serious here. We mentioned, I put a poll up a little while ago about the keepers and all that, and I mentioned no keepers, one keeper, two keepers, or two keepers that are different positions. So that was the first idea. Actually, I think it was today. I kicked around an idea of adding two people to the league, and actually Tarazi mentioned it a few weeks ago to me as an idea. Guys, this is our third year in a league. This is an ongoing league. We have a good thing going on. I mentioned last week or the week before about the strict paying for the next year, which will be very strict because we can't have this JR bullshit happening again. But as far as next year, guys, there's a lot of things we can do to spice this league up. We're an 8-team league. That is like a pretty weak league. We can make it a 10-man league. We can add defensive players. We can add different scoring. We can add head coaches for wins and losses. This is a high-scoring league, and everyone enjoys that. I mean, if you score 200 points, that's a really good week. If you score 130 points, 140 points, that's a bad week. So we've gotten accustomed in this league to a high-scoring league, and let's continue with that. But let's do it. Let's have fun with it. Let's move on and do something different. Like 10 people would be awesome. 12 people could be really crazy. 10 people in a league, top 2 get a bye, next 4 make a playoff spot. Things like that. Like, let's really experiment. Let's really talk and try to do something maybe a little different because 3 years in, same people pretty much, same kind of thing. Let's think about it. I like to make that last poll I made about the keepers kind of obsolete because I kind of want to do some major changes with everyone's agreement. We'll get together. We'll talk about it. If we make any major changes, like especially adding anybody, it's no keeper league. But like things like that, let's talk about it. Let's figure it out because we need to spice some things up. We need to do some changes. Either way, guys, playoff week 1. Let's get some shit going. We could see JR in a final. We could see Yobagoya in a final. We could see current food service director Yobagoya versus former food service director Santriali's Pork Store in a final. Tony's made a final 2 years in a row and lost to both Santinellos. I would hate to see him make it a third year in a row and lose to somebody else. That would really be horrible. But either way, guys, have a great week. Good luck. And if you're Ethan, I hope all your players die in a fucking car crash. Peace, bitch.